With the 2024-2025 NHL season right around the corner, that means Igor Shesterkin, the New York Rangers' elite starting goaltender, will be entering the final year of his current contract right now, which means he could enter unrestricted free agency next offseason. As a free agent there, he could be unrestricted there, which means he could possibly end up signing with any team in the entire NHL. But the important part is the New York Rangers and Igor could possibly come to an agreement on a new contract, whether it is, at some point before this upcoming season starts or at some point throughout this upcoming season as it is right around the corner. They're only a few weeks out now from, preseason, all that good stuff starting. So we're not too far off right now. The NHL season is fastly approaching, and we could possibly see an Igor Shesterkin contract happen at some point in the coming weeks. But in today's video, we're going to kind of dive into this Igor contract situation here, take a look at some kind of comparable deals we could possibly see, as well as, though, take a look at a little update / news here and some of Elliotte Friedman's kind of thoughts on Igor Shesterkin's possible next contract. So let's get right into it here, taking a look at Igor Shesterkin and his new contract that could happen with the New York Rangers here. Obviously, Igor is a guy who's coming off of another phenomenal, stellar playoff performance here, as he was, honestly, I would say the clear biggest reason on why this Rangers team was able to make the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in the last 3 seasons here, as they ended up losing to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, in Game 6. You could definitely argue Igor was the best goaltender throughout that entire playoff run. From start to finish there, he played fantastic, and this is a guy who consistently shows that he is a true playoff performer, which is a big part. The last couple regular seasons, yes, his numbers have not been for his standards, what we've kind of seen in the past when he won that Vezina Trophy, for example. The numbers haven't been that elite, kind of true top-tier numbers, but when it comes to playoffs there, against the Devils, even that first-round exit there, against the Lightning a couple seasons ago when they went to the conference finals against them, and this past playoff run as well, Igor has consistently proven that he is a true playoff performer and shines when the lights are brightest, which is exactly what you want to see. So this is a guy who I think will hopefully, and probably will, end up signing a massive new contract at some point in the very near future, hopefully. Like I said, it could happen at some point in the next coming weeks here. It's definitely possible, or it could happen at some point throughout this upcoming season. So I'm not sure really what's going to happen before the season starts or during it, throughout the season, but I really hope and kind of think it's probably going to get done before next offseason happens. Him going into free agency as an unrestricted guy just is not a good sign for the Rangers there, where he could end up walking for possibly nothing, which would be the absolute worst case scenario for the New York Rangers. So I definitely don't see that happening. And now let's take a look here at a quote from Elliotte Friedman's 32 Thoughts here, his article / podcast. He's obviously a very reputable NHL reporter, and he ended up saying, quote, "I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be the #1 paid goalie in the NHL, Elliotte Friedman, on Igor Shesterkin's upcoming contract." I think that's very interesting there, and I think that's kind of what I would agree with as well. My guess is he's going to be the highest paid goaltender cap hit-wise on his next contract. But that does happen, in the coming weeks now or throughout this upcoming season at some point when I'm guessing a deal is going to get done before next offseason. I'm guessing as well he's probably going to end up being the highest paid goaltender cap hit-wise in the NHL. So let's take a look now at the current top 3 highest paid goaltenders cap hit-wise in the league right now. You have Carey Price in first place with a $10.5 million cap hit. In second place, Sergei Bobrovsky with $10 million flat. And in third place, you have Andrei Vasilevskiy, the second Russian on this list, with a $9.5 million cap hit. My guess is Igor is definitely going to get over $10 million. Now, is it going to be close to that 11 mark or that 10 mil mark or that 11.5 mil mark? I'm not quite sure, honestly. That's kind of the big question mark. Is it going to be a 7 or 8 year deal? Is it going to be 10 to 11.5? That's kind of my guess, something around there. I really have no idea exactly what the number is going to be, but my guess is more than likely, around that kind of 10.5 to 11 mil mark. I'm not quite sure he's going to get much lower than that, but I'm not quite sure he's going to get much higher than that. Maybe he does, and it definitely could be possible where he does get like 11.25, 11.5. I think it's going to be anything more than that, really. I don't see it quite getting to that 12 mil mark, but hopefully it is. 11 mil or lower is kind of my ideal kind of number to be at. Igor is obviously an elite top-tier goaltender, in the playoffs. He's arguably the best goaltender over the last, 3 playoff runs or so, but him signing a massive contract, whether it is like a 7-8 year deal at like $10.5 to $11 million, something around there, that will have a humongous effect on the New York Rangers cap space situation going forward. Now, yes, guys like Trouba and Panarin, their contracts come off the books in the coming years, so that's nice and all, but, a guy like Lafreniere, he's going to get a big payday. A guy like Keandre Miller, he might get a little bit of a raise there. Brayden Schneider's going to get paid more in the future as well. A lot of guys are going to get more money in the coming years, the next 2-3 years. Lafreniere and Igor, their new contracts are going to hit the books next upcoming season in 2025, 2026. So there are a lot of big contracts that are going to be coming in the next coming years, next few years here, 2-3 years. So cap space wise, things are going to be very tight, especially with a goaltender making possibly, well over $10 million, closer to that 11 mil mark. So it's going to be tough there for Chris Drury and this front office to really get the job done there and build a true, Stanley Cup possible winning team. But that's the ultimate end goal there, is to win a Stanley Cup there. And Chris Drury, that is his exact job there, is to build that team and re-sign a guy like Igor there. It's going to happen. I mean, some Rangers fans obviously don't want to see that massive contract handed out to Igor, and I understand that. But at the end of the day there, Igor is a truly elite playoff performer. He shines the brightest when the playoffs come around. So that's a bonus there as well, is having that elite playoff performer there. He's going to get paid no matter what, whether it is the Rangers paying him that 10+ mil contract over 7-8 years, whatever it is. Another team will if it's not the Rangers. So that's my point there. A deal is going to get done, but the ultimate goal is still for this team to win a cup there, and it's going to be a lot tougher, though, with having that goalie making 10+ mil there, as right now we could not get the job done with Igor making less than 6. So now the tough part comes around next season, as obviously this upcoming season, Igor's contract is still very reasonable for what he can bring, but in the coming years here, when his contract, pretty much doubles from, around that kind of like 5.5 mark, a little above that, when it doubles to around 11 mil or maybe slightly less or slightly above that, things are definitely going to be tough there. But Chris Drury is going to have to do a very fantastic job to really make this New York Rangers team a true Stanley Cup winning team that we hopefully will see at some point, whether it is this upcoming season or in the future as well. But anyways, in the comment section down below, let me know your thoughts on Igor Shesterkin's next contract. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for a ton more New York Rangers content. As we get closer to this upcoming season, now we'll get back to the daily New York Rangers content. So if you are a New York Rangers fan, there's no better place to be on YouTube. And also, we are so close to 2.6K subscribers. So if you help me get there, that would be very much appreciative. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next one. See ya.